We should not be stagnant. If network or the hybrid model has to be, the ideas should flow it, and each idea should be looked at it in a positively, and issues. This networking helps to sort out any issues which we may be coming. So long term, I look at it as a very bright future, and it will going to give big opportunities to the corporates around and each stakeholders who are involved. That's what my thought is.
Hello and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors, where we bring you real conversations with the minds shaping industries, driving innovation, and leading with impact. I'm Sunny Pancholi, and today we have a guest whose expertise in business development, marketing, strategic purchasing, and corporate leadership has driven remarkable success in the industry. With a career spanning over 2 decades, he has been at the forefront of business growth, vendor negotiations, customer relations, and operational strategy, leading high impact initiatives that have transformed organizations. As general manager at JK Lakshmi Cement, he has played a key role in budget development, supply chain management, and process automation, optimizing efficiency and ensuring long term business sustainability. Beyond his expertise in business operations, he is a strategic thinker and a problem solver, committed to driving growth, fostering leadership, and creating value driven business strategies. His deep industry insights and hands on experience make him a powerhouse in corporate decision making. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome Mr. Rajan Verma to the show. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders.
Welcome, everybody. It's nice to have you around. Thank you. Let's move on.
All right. So, to kick things off, Mr. Verma, it has been said that every great career is built on moments, some planned, some unexpected, but all shaping the leader we become. And you have had an incredible journey leading business development, marketing, and strategic operations over the years. But if we take it back to the beginning, before the titles, before the achievements, what was that first spark that set you on this path? Was there a defining moment, a challenge, or even an unexpected turn that shaped the way you lead and make decisions today?
The changes which was happening here around, when we were past, and if you look at the India, the economy had going through a sudden burst of changes, and all people were looking into an active high spiral growth. And that spark came into the game. Okay, let's be part of a change movement. Let's look at solutions as a growth. Let's look at problems, and for each problems and issues defines new challenges, new forethinking, new growth strategies. It gives you a path that, look, you have the resources, the country is great, and there's nothing people were jargoning about India stands at this position, and a lot of reports that India stands at this at different levels or not. But I thought, every country, every person is there, stands at the top level, and there's 100%. Till you reach the 100%, the change movement, the upgrade, that spark to bring about the changes and add to the change value is always relevant. And that can be done when we start from the bottom up, that is from the foundation, bring a pool and all your resources together, learn from them, relearn, learn, and then move forward. And that spark comes only when the thought process is highly positive, keep every negativity out, and look at every opportunity as a fresh spark to a new opportunity. Because every time when you step forward, new challenges will come in, and that every challenges requires a solution. So from my point of perspective of my upbringing or from my days which I have been in, okay, let's look at solutions rather than looking at issues and then defining the solution. So the thing is, there is nothing a break to a stoppage to an issue and all. Every stepping stone which we look at has to be driven in a forward path. So that challenge comes in if we take more and more responsibilities, more and more new innovations, more and more leadership's thought process. And that is the spark which I thought, okay, let's get into that movement.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's such an inspiring perspective. And I'm sure you have had an incredible, inspiring journey as well. So, continuing our conversation, Mr. Verma, in business, saving costs isn't just about cutting expenses, it's about making smarter decisions, optimizing resources, and ensuring long term sustainability. And you have had successfully driven cost efficiency and operational improvements. And I'm sure you have seen firsthand that the right strategy can make all the difference. So, from your experience, what's one cost saving approach that every business, big or small, should implement to not just survive, but thrive in today's competitive landscape?
The perspective of cost saving should be not looked at just as a saving and all. From the perspective growth, it should be more like you had asked. It is more that the fact lies in cost optimizations. If you are able to optimize the cost, because that brings us the best pooling and all the best resources, and point to point, what has been the past experience built onto that. So every opportunity is a way to bring about cost optimization, pulling in your best resources. Resources is the key to it. It's not just bringing in key resources. What is the resources which is existent in the environment? Whether you are able to optimize it in terms of human, whether you are able to optimize it in terms of processes, whether you're able to optimize in terms of bringing in new technology or bringing about the changes in the way of working things. That is the strategy which drives successful growth strategy if you look at it. The optimization is the key, which further percolates down into what is reflective on the long-term savings. If we directly looked at savings, the some of the trends has been, which we see around businesses, has been that they try to actually start with the first thing of cutting a lot of resources and all, which not sure about okay, how it's going to impact the business. The moment you define and cut the resources, and certain times what happens that you end up losing good resources, be it human, be it processes, be it your industrial environment, be it the technological front. So if you're able to optimize it, you get the benefit of the highest level of cost saving, which results through it. And that defines growth. That is what the thought has been, and that is what we have been successfully able to do it. Bring it like e-auction trends, bring it about go-to-market strategies, be about trends as to which product mix has to come into them. So that results because of that optimization factor. And markets, if for the company to grow, there's nothing like once you can just sit at a percentage, there's always a chance to touch 100%. If you believe as a company, if I am able to optimize, why can't it be a leader in the market? There will be leaders. Leaders are born to be beaten up, defeated. You have all the opportunity if you're and your resources. You're bound to step in and be the best. That is what drives the growth strategy. And that is why cost optimization rather becomes the key to any savings which comes from the flow of that.
Amazing, amazing.
Yes.
Mr. Verma, it's amazing how a well thought out strategy can turn cost cuttings into a real competitive advantage rather than just an operational necessity.
That's true.
Yeah, moving ahead, Mr. Verma, the way businesses connect, collaborate, and build relations has evolved tremendously, and MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, has become the backbone of corporate networking. With industries adapting to hybrid events, digital integrations, and evolving attendee expectations, the MICE sector is transforming rapidly. So, from your experience, how do you see this industry evolving in the coming years?
It's going to be a big challenge in the fact that corporates are now getting more involved into this. Point number one. Point number two is key as we do networking. On-ground networking, when we move into exhibition or be it into certain networking events, it has been that digitally, if we do keep move forward, but always a physical presence always helps because there is a lot of emotions connected, emotional. lot of understanding, which is a key to driving this sector forward. Because certain aspects, a spot can be looked at in a different methodology by bringing it thoughts. It is not just the traditional way of looking at things, the traditional way of networking, or the traditional way of getting excited what something new can be done. It is the new thought and the new formative or the innovative format of meeting, bringing it ideas, what can be done in a set position. That is what drives, and it's going to boom like that. And with the hybrid model coming up, the hybrid model like brings about a thought exchange. More thought exchanges is happening before any decisions or a networking meeting happens or anything. More thoughts go into the nitty-gritties of the stakeholders involved. More thoughts goes into the excitement of the long-term relationship, which tends to businesses. Now, there has been the traditional way of looking at things. My business has to survive for a long, but now companies look at in a long-term perspective, very short-term and a very long-term perspective. So if this networking keeps on happening, new thoughts comes in, the new steps to be forward, looking at each perspective and an opportunity to build long-term relationship, that is going to help and that is going to drive it. We should not be stagnant. If network or the hybrid model has to be, the ideas should flow it, and each idea should be looked at it in a positively and issues. This networking helps to sort out any issues which may be coming in. So long term, I look at it as a very bright future, and it will going to give big opportunities to the corporates around and each stakeholders who are involved. That's what my thought is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's incredible to see how MICE is no longer just about events, but about creating immersive, strategic business experiences.
That's right.
So, if we look at how businesses operated a decade ago versus today, Mr. Verma, the shift has been nothing short of revolutionary. From automation to AI-driven analytics, to digital platforms to real-time data insights, technology has transformed the way leaders navigate business challenges. So for you, how has digital transformation changed the way you approach business strategy and operations?
There was a challenge when traditional companies work at it. They look at each data as to what's going to finally emerge or finally give the outcome. Challenges was there in terms of how the people are going to react to it. Because as you know, as automations, as technology, as digital transformation, the biggest challenge comes to how the resources are looking at it. They find it a challenge as to the way and the style of working. So when we started implementing a lot of concepts, be it ERP data, because that's a huge amount of data coming in and huge amount of modeling and huge amount of analytics which goes into throws another. The key point is to first the adaptations of the technology, the adaptations of the resources. The resources was brought into the focus. Ki look, all these things, tools which you're looking at on your right or beyond to the right, it's not going to replace you. Utilize it as part of your working methodology as building at the ecosystem, because they are going to be a part of the ecosystem. So what used to take you, say, 40 days or 20 days, you are going to adapt that analytical tools, that faster decision making, to actually find out among the 10 different data points or the 10 different markets or the 10 different process environment. If you are able to fine tune a particular process or able to fine tune and bring about a niche type of working into that system or the methodology, you are going to bring down the process time, point number one. You are going to take a faster decision. Point number two, your financial resources are going to be adapted or used properly. Because end of the day, every company looks at okay, what I'm going to adapt, what's the financial way it's going to, because every money saved, I can use that same 1 rupee saved out of that particular units for doing something else, which can add benefit to not but to the company as a whole, but as the environment and to the people around. And that is what is driven unique changes which we see around. So our technology-driven environment or the adaptations as we look as to how it's going to impact each section of the, be it the way you do a tracking methodology, the way you look at markets, the way you try to analyze and touch base with customers, the way for as you grow, you are going to go beyond particular zones or section to a vaster sections of the whole India. And India is geographically, it's a challenge. Some people, it's a challenge. Different sets of people are staying there, different language theologies, different set of cultures and all. And these data points, this adaptations of tools which we develop gives us a faster way to connect to them. And that connects, builds us, helps us to bring a long-term relationship. So end of the day, AI, be it any form of digital methodology, be it any technological processes, adaptations, be it the way the resources, human resources are adapting to it, making the human resources be comfortable and feel that they are part of you. Because any corporates which they work on, the human resource is a challenge as to different type of study methodology, different types of departments, different types of analytics required, different of decisions making. So if there is an extension, these golden era method tools which you talk about is adapted properly, then we see a vast amount of growth happening. And of course, it gives people to actually seriously enjoy the work which they're doing. Enjoy the way that my value is topmost to the corporates, and this is going to help me save up my time and a lot of benefits. This is the way things have been adapted.
That's such a great perspective, Mr. Verma. And it's amazing how technology isn't just about keeping up, it's about staying ahead, making smarter decisions, and unlocking new opportunities.
That's right.
All right. So, moving ahead, Mr. Verma, you have led high stakes business operations, driven strategic growth, and shaped industry practices. But looking ahead, what are your future aspirations, both in your own personal career and within the boardroom? Do you see yourself stepping into larger leadership roles, influencing corporate governance, or shaping business strategy at the highest levels?
That is an opportunity, or that is a level when always we look forward to it. Because that is where all these years of experience, and of course, thanks to the institutes which we are availing in directors institutes and everything, the way they have fostered the thoughts and brought in a lot of new challenges, new thoughts which is coming into the industries. Putting together, going forward, it is going to be a blend of experience. It's going to be a lot of blend into the lot of changes which is going to happen. And of course, when we try share this, learn with any big corporates at the leadership level and the stakeholders, if we are able to bring it then forward. So that is what the excitement is there. The excitement to actually, which we were talking about, you had rightly said about the networking opportunity to bring about innovations, the networking opportunity to bring forward a pool of people, the networking opportunity to bring about a blend of resources, digitally, processes, technology, the all resources of the stakeholder and show them a path. Look, it's not the end of anything. It is a leadership role which says that every difficulty has got a challenge, but every difficulty has got a solution also. And every difficulty, if we are able to work on a solution is not a stoppage time. Solution is again an opportunity to take the people forward. That is what leadership requires. Give people, give the team, give the environment who are working about, give the socially people who are connected with you, give the financial section and other processes. Look, we are here to bring about new thoughts. We are here to listen to you. We are here to bring about, convert opportunities into growth and growth into further growth. That is what of course, challenges will be there, difficult times will be there, roadblocks will be there, breakages will be there, rivers will be there, trying to stop your pathway. But there is a thin thread of hope. There's always that thread of hope has to be constructed into one of the strongest bridges in the world, like Howrah Bridge, standing there for years and years. You don't find a single rust, but every time you repaint it, it drives the people, it gives the people confidence and crossing from one side to the other. And at the other side, I find the golden sunlight always awaiting us around. That is the leadership which I look forward and driving things, sitting if at a particular level. I don't want people to stagnate. This cannot be this. It's always an opportunity. As long as you are there, it's an opportunity. It's there. As long as you're there, solution exists. As long as you're there, roadblocks will be there. As long as you're there, difficulties will be there. As long as you're there, every year there will be a financial closing, but every financial closing is an opportunity to rebuild, regrow. Why stop? Keep on growing. There's nothing an end to it. And there should be a legacy that the company or the brand who has been there, there's always a chain of people or there's a change of resources who are going to take the things forward. That is the type of leadership I came forward to.
Incredible, Mr. Verma. It's incredible to hear how your journey is still evolving and the way you are thinking about the future, whether it's leadership at a higher level or shaping industry strategy, is something I'm sure many will resonate with.
Yeah, that's right. I hope that people do it.
Absolutely. All right. So, talking about ESG and corporate governance, companies are being held accountable for their environmental footprint, ethical governance, and social impact. Uh, ESG isn't just a checkbox anymore. It's shaping investment decisions, brand reputations, and long-term sustainability. So, from your perspective, Mr. Verma, how do you see ESG influencing business strategies today? And what role do you believe corporate leaders like yourself play in driving meaningful, long-lasting change?
If you look at it in a way that earlier in India and abroad, CSR has been just a focus where more people were talking about social. But suddenly, as a corporate leaders, they thought about everything is not just CSR. There's a whole thing. As corporates grow, we have to be responsible for the environment around us. So all the greenhouse emissions, all the celebrity the carbon footprints and all. That is what on the long term is we have to preserve the environmental benefits in around us, which it's not just a give and take. And for that, you need people. For people to be there, that it is not just your people which is working for that. It is a people who work around you, who are there, part of your existence, the human factor, just there. And from the human factor, of course, comes this, everything has to be led in a particular set-driven chain of command, law, strictly governed, so that spillages is not there. And a high level of responsibility comes onto any corporates and all. So the governance rules, the regulations, and if corporates need to stick to all these three things, if they have to grow in around, if I have to sustainably, if the growth part talks about sustainability in the long run. If a corporate is able to control in terms of the cost, in terms of the environment, is able to replace a lot of their highly resources, which is consuming a lot of in carbon and other things in around greenhouse, so emitting a lot of greenhouse gases, which is going to impact your environment. Then look about it's going to impact the people around. And if people do not exist, how do you expect the corporates to survive? If you don't have the people who are working for you, if you don't see the villages growing with you, if you don't see the other challenges that's going to come through it, how does the corporate think it's going to grow? So it becomes our responsibility as a corporate owner to look around and for each defined sections, find out a way, find out a methodology, put in places practices, put it in places practice, because now in today's world, we have grown beyond CSR. We are looking at a total circle and we are bang in the middle of it. And we have to keep that circle intact. Let that circle do not break out. Let not it be a long-term chariot race that when you're running a chariot, there's wheel breaks. The chariot has to keep on running, taking all these key factors. So, of course, it has to be like we discussed in terms of the governance factor. The rules and regulations, how we keep on measuring it, how we benchmark against the best, how all these impactful measuring points has to be followed by any corporate to move ahead. We need to respect the relationship all around. That's what I think. And that is why ESG has been a major game changer for any corporates or any industry at all, even for small MSMEs. That is going to drive it. Things. This is what a small snippet I think about it.
Rightly said, Mr. Verma, and it's clear that ESG isn't just a corporate obligation anymore. It's a mindset shift that's shaping the way businesses think, operate, and engage with the world.
That's true.
Okay, so that brings us to the last question of the podcast, and here it is, Mr. Verma. You have recently joined Directors Institute, and we would love to hear about your experience. What stood out to you the most about the program, and how has it added value to your leadership journey?
The first time when I connected as to what Directors Institute was, I was surprised fact that they have touched each point where a future director needs to work about in totality, be it ESG, be it the financial systems, be it how the digital world is impacting corporates. And I was wondering when I was going through some of the literature when I joined it, it was surprising that they were looking at the digital impact in the corporates beyond the normal way of understanding where people around you look at it. If you look around the people, when you talk about digital, okay, some social platform exists, some reels exist. They are not actually looking at how digitally, if I put a digital environment like a simple scanner into my process system, and I'm able to control the processes. That is a digital environment or corporates is looking at. And the literature, the interactions, the thought leaderships with the director institutes was able to bring about that. It is what those niche, and I find it's very different to understand. And it is actually they are there understanding what are the key points which has to do it in the future. A leader has to look at in the future. Any of the books, the blue book, if you look at the script, they run it on their modules, and that is what the niche is, what drives it. It's very interesting. Many of the things and thoughts we may be thinking at a simple line, which they say like ESG and everything. We need a lot of ESG. United Nations was the first to implement it. Then there are cases in Bosnia Herzegovina. Then there are BC models where ESG has talked about MSMEs and everything. Here, the institutors has to be able to complement all of the things and in a comprised way put it together. And it's the way, if you've been able to go through it is impactful right across any corporates, right in us. It is not necessary that if somebody has got an experience in a particular field, he has to focus on that. Their way of imparting knowledge, their way of interactions is they find what I face is they find this people like us as the value as a they find that okay, if this person has got that leadership to take on the world across any industry, that is the biggest thing. See, if you look at the environment around us, many of the people we lose some of the best people is it's like I have been part of the ERP implementation in my company. Just to like, it's just an example. SAP. SAP in India has been failure in a lot of processes or companies. Not because SAP, there's not anything wrong with the SAP. People, before SAP gets implemented, they try to fix SAP or an ERP model into their corporates, thinking that it has to adapt to my style of working. They don't look at it as a not neutral, beautiful process. And if our company has been being to look at it as a neutral, beautiful, it encompasses all processes. The example I put forward is, this is what the Directors Institute has been able to. They, I think, are able to identify resources or people like us who come on board. They are saying, look, you are sitting us done. We are giving you a model. We are giving you concepts. We are trying to bridge the e-learning process. And you are going to be the best in the world to leading any change, any form of leaderships. And these modules, as a leader, covers everything, be it from ESG, be it from finance, be it from digital, be it from processes. That's what's good about Director Institute. And it's most of the thing in the books or most of them, the experiences are being catered through, or they are trying to share the experience through their learnings. Otherwise, most of the books I've seen around or the articles is more, it's become all bookish knowledge. But here is an institute which is trying to share the experience. That is one of the biggest things. Here is an institute which is trying to put the person in the middle and taking in all the environment of the learning part, which is going to impact the business. They're not trying to miss out anything from ESG, from finance, from digital, and digital, of course, being beyond the normal social medias. So, and of course, these types of sessions and everything impacts a way of understanding. We have been through a lot of sessions where leaders have come and discuss case studies and that environment. That helps. That is what drives in the fact, you look on ground, this is what going to impact. So, wonderful, and I'm sure it's going to help us a lot.
Fantastic. Fantastic to hear that, Mr. Verma. And it's always great when a program doesn't just meet expectations, but actually enhances the way leaders think and make decisions.
That's true.
All right. So that brings us to the end of another incredible episode of FaceTime with Leaders. What a conversation. Insightful, engaging, and full of wisdom from someone who has truly mastered the art of business leadership. Mr. Verma, it has been an absolute privilege to have you on the show. Your journey from navigating high-stakes negotiations to optimizing business strategy and embracing corporate governance has been nothing short of inspiring. So thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you, Mr. Sunny. It's been a lovely environment interacting with you. And we do hope that Director Institutes will take such concern further forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, Mr. Verma. And to our audience, I hope today's discussion left you with valuable insights, fresh perspectives, and maybe even a new way of thinking about your own leadership journey. Whether you are a business executive, an entrepreneur, or someone looking to step into a boardroom role, Remember, learning never stops, growth is constant, and great leadership is built on experience and the courage to evolve. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. And if you are looking to elevate your leadership journey, keep following FaceTime with Leaders, where we bring you the minds shaping industry, driving change, and leading with impact. Until next time, keep leading, keep innovating, and never stop striving for greatness. See you on the next episode. Thank you so much and have a nice time.